I can't look at my husband without feeling guilty after nearly deleting our daughter. How do I even fix this? My husband and I have been excited for the longest time anticipating the birth of our daughter. It was a difficult pregnancy and we both had absolutely no clue what the F we were doing, yet we were the happiest we'd ever been. We were about to be parents. We went to the hospital on the 30th to endure labor since she was a few days past her due date and we were just growing anxious. Turns out my blood pressure spiked severely, and Jesus, when I say that labor pain is honestly the most excruciating thing in the world, even as someone with a high pain tolerance, I mean it. I'm sorry for that, but I had a lot of bleeding and I was honestly exhausted by the time I even started pushing. My husband was right there with me looking so terrified and I was basically passing out because I felt like I just couldn't do it. Dr. The attempted at doing an assisted extraction using a medical suction tool and that too failed. So last resort was rushing me to surgery for a C-section. I was put under and woke up to being wheeled back to her room. I kept asking where she was and my husband just told me she was being taken care of and I needed to rest. Apparently it took longer than normal for me to even wake up. When I was coherent enough, I found out there had been some complications. I was like, but she's okay, right? And my husband said, yeah, she's perfect. She just needed extra care because of how traumatic the birth was on both of us. My heart rate got dangerously low at 1.2 and my husband was dealing with all of this alone. She stopped breathing and also ingested some fecal matter and it took 15 minutes of chest compressions to get her back again. My husband had opted to wait to tell me this after I'd still been put on high alert due to my blood pressure and he didn't want me to risk spiking it again as THT was a major concern. The doctor told me she is doing well, she's alive, but they can't tell what kind of damage lack of oxygen might have to her brain. Is she gonna be okay? Or how it might affect her in the future because it's too early to tell the severity of it all right now. I just stared at my daughter hooked up to all those tubes in an incubator. I walked to the bathroom and sat on the floor crying for an hour. I feel like I failed her. My one job was to get her into the world safely and I couldn't do that. I couldn't do it right and she might suffer because of it. My husband thinks I'm mad at him for not telling me the truth earlier, but I know he had a similar meltdown from what my family told me while the doctors were trying to help me as well. I told him I understand, but I don't think he believes me. I just can't talk to him properly. I told him I failed us and he just keeps being amazing and positive and I feel like I don't deserve any of it. Granted, it hasn't been a week yet. My daughter is still in a neonatal ICU unit doing well, but I feel like a horrible waste of the term mother and wife right now. I don't really know what advice I'm looking for. How do I help my husband? My daughter? Lol, myself? I know we need counseling, but I'm still healing and shouldn't be on my feet, but I'm doing hospital runs to be able to see my daughter frequently and bring her the milk I pumped. All our focus is on getting her home at the moment. I have a BP check tomorrow because I'm on meds now, for F's sake, still dealing with stitches again. This happened last Tuesday. It's fresh and I'm still on medication and so I'm fucking lost here, people. I don't know WHT I want. Maybe just to vent. I've seen some pretty amazing people in this sub and I just feel utterly defeated at the moment. I woke up from a nightmare dreaming about being BK on THT bed during labor pushing and I woke up crying with him holding me. I just don't know where to go from here. Update 1. So the hospital called me back. Basically I need to do feedings with Leah while she's on all her meds. Luckily the feeding tube is out, which is a big yay. But I need to be here now 24/7 sleeping in a chair. Basically because of a lack of beds and dealing with a screaming newborn. I have zero idea how to care for it and I just want to scream. My husband isn't allowed in the room at all because it's shared with other moms who are also breastfeeding constantly, so if he wants to see us we have to go stand in the hallway. And right now she's getting blood drawn screaming bloody murder while I wait outside trying to not cry. I'm failing, by the way. I'm crying, lol. They said a few more days and I don't know if I can do this. I did tell the doctor I wanted to speak to a therapist though. Leah is doing well. She had an infection. Thomas is on antibiotics, hence the blood tests to see if it's cleared up. They say a few more days, but I can barely manage the nights on my own. She's constantly up and crying and I feel like I don't know what the F to do, so I sometimes cry with her. I just want us to go home. I miss my husband. Who is busy missing meals because he's so focused on us he's not feeling too well, RN. When I asked him when last he ate properly I had to help him remember, and that was Sunday night at home, is support and love and family. That's all I'm focused on now. Taking such good care of her here that the doctors want to send us home. Adding some details, now is the waiting game. Basically waiting for test results and then reassessing. Good news is what I'm taking from it: she's okay. She's alive. She's off the feeding tube. She has fantastic fucking lungs because she keeps everyone awake all night long using them. Her father is absolutely besotted with her. She frowns whenever I touch her feet. I don't like people touching my feet either, lol. She's gorgeous. She really is. I want to go home. I want her to go home. I need support. I'm trying to hold on the best I can and not fall apart. It's rough. Sleeping in a chair is definitely affecting my stitches and I am in a lot of pain a lot of the time. But yeah, for now that's all I can say, I guess. Update 2. So the hospital is hooking me up with an occupational therapist to help me get accustomed to helping Leah the best I can with movement and exercises that are good for her body and brain. My husband, being his wonderful self, went to speak to his boss today about arranging his working hours to accommodate that when we get to go home. It'll be maybe 3 to 4 times a week. Blood work came back, and although we can't go home yet, I'm trying to convey the message I got all medically on a tired brain so doctors or whoever may correct me. So they did blood work and her viral count, for being able to fight off infection, I think is what the doctor said, should be a 10 for a healthy child. So that if she gets sick she'll be okay. At birth Leah's was 24, then spiked to a 30. Why, she went on antibiotics and needs to be monitored. Good news is after today's blood work it's at 14. So not a 10 yet. But it's proof the antibiotics are working and that she is on her way to being roadworthy, so as much as I hate this hospital I can do a whole month if it means she will be healthy. So by Friday we should be going home or last Saturday morning. Spoke to the doctor again, she assured me the baby blues are normal and they will connect me to a therapist, but I know with public health, and especially mental health in my country, it takes a while. And all our finances went into preparing for her, and with me being like this I don't know when I'll be going back to work, especially with having to give her all our attention. So we will see. If they set it up I'll need my husband to get help too. I don't think he wants to admit how much this actually affected him, he doesn't eat much. And he was spaced out today and I had a heart-to-heart with him about how much we appreciate him and how he is amazing for even being there with me and not freaking out or getting scared. I know a lot of men, especially in my family, refuse to even be in the delivery room for any births. He kinda broke down a little and said it was scary watching me like that, and then watching the same thing with her he felt helpless. I told him how much I adore him and he just told me he loved me and that's enough. I'll keep trying with him though. I need him to not neglect himself. He is absolutely in love with her. Thomas even finds her frowning to be the most adorable thing in the world. I think I lost him lol. So yeah, that's about it. We will be okay, I know it. It feels a bit much right now and me getting overwhelmed by a crying baby sucks, but all babies cry. That's what I'm telling myself. It's perfectly normal and we are gonna take each day just one day at a time. Update 3, we are going home. This made me nearly wake up Leah while she's staring at me through milk-intoxicated eyes at the moment. My daughter is a grumpy little diva. But she's mine. She's beautiful and funny and has started making the cutest little noises. John and I don't regret having her. Or whatever we need to do to make sure she's okay in the future. She isn't an inconvenience. She's our miracle. Update 4, my daughter has the biggest I hate you face. I don't know what the F John did to piss me off during my pregnancy, but if you have ever seen those side-eye TikToks, that's Leah. So that's how I handled that comment. I didn't give it much thought besides that it was gross and rolled my eyes. Leah is a marvel. And she's such a fun baby. She makes me smile every day. Even when I want to cry and scream. And when I'm scared. I just look at her and remember how I'm blessed she's even with me. So no metal chair was needed.